Alright, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? GIGeoGamer here, and today we are back with a brand new video. Today, guys, I'm going to be casting a ZvZ, Zerg versus Zerg, and spawning in the bottom left, it is our red Zerg player. It is playing for no clan. He's a freelancer, Snuffle. Starting off with a hatch first. And up in the top right, it is our blue Zerg. I could have done this, been fancy. It is GIGeoGamer. It is again me. Also going for a hatch first. Hatch gas pool. Sent out a little scout here. And I believe this game I started off my build a little bit wonky. Maybe that wasn't this game. I'm not sure. But this was a pretty good game. Played on Acolyte LE. Now, if I do sound like a dying cow, well, the reason is I'm a little bit sick right now. I have a sore throat. So there's that. I hope you guys still enjoy the video. Shoot, man, I'm still recording this in 240 FPS. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna YOLO it and say what up. See how that goes. So if the video looks extra incredibly smooth, it's because it's in 240 FPS, which I was messing around recording with. So basic things going on. Our player Snuffle here making 4 lings, as well as starting ling speed. My excuse me, my pool is just finished. I am making 4 lings as well. Snuffle has now made 6 lings. And I am droning up my natural. I did pull off of gas. He has pulled 1 worker off of gas and also transferred a bunch of workers down into the natural so he can just drone up his main with his main base and his natural with his natural base. Now he's making more queens. He has 2 lings on the ramp. He has 2 lings moving out and another ling headed to each of the watchtowers. I have all 4 of my lings headed down the bottom path towards his base just to get some extra scouting information. My first queen does pop, and alright, right here I actually kill this sling, and then I'll pop over here, check the vision. I don't see anything, so I'll head back down, and now I take my 3rd pocket expansion. If you're a Zerg player, I highly recommend you expand forward, which means you will be able to wall this off if you choose to. You can put some spines down, either here or in the wall, or in this position right here. And that also leaves your 3rd a lot safer, rather than having to expand out. Some players will still expand out, and then save this for late game when they really need minerals. That is your personal choice. Now, I have set up a little bit of a blockade down here, just seeing when he starts his 3rd, what he's doing. But if we go ahead and have a look over here, he started his roach warren and is just droning up his bases. The worker right now, he does have 5 more workers than I do, but I have 5 workers in production. I do go ahead and drop my bane nest as well as a 2nd gas. He does send a ling in to scout, which I don't believe will actually give him much information. It does not at all. He has seen my 3rd, but of course I have seen his 3rd. And Snuffle is just really droning up really hard right here, although he's way oversaturated. Only 1 guy on gas, even though he's 7 drones oversaturated. Very interesting. He went roaches, and yet is not mining gas. He does go ahead and start a lair, right here. And again, I'm still droning up. My natural is droned, my main is droned. Gonna start droning up my 3rd. Made a bunch of lings here. My bane nest has finished, so I'm going to go ahead and morph in a bunch of lings so I can go ahead and kill this this base right here, which I should be able to do. If we have a look over here, he has 2 lings and 2 queens blocking up the ramp. That is it. 5 roaches are in production, but they are indeed slow roaches, and they're not going to be able to do anything. I did morph these banelings just as a precautionary measure. I assumed he would have lings. He did not. And as you can see, my lings are just going to eat away at the space until it does go down. I have started my lair back home, as well as got my first info chamber, which I will start ranged attack with because I did see the roaches down here. So I have, again, my roach warren just finished. I have +1 attack on the way, morphing a lair so I can get roach speed. If you start a lair and an evo chamber at the same time and then get an upgrade as soon as your evo chamber finishes, your roach speed and evo chamber upgrade will finish at the same time. A little bit of engagement going down here, just chasing away my lings. I saw he has a bunch of roaches, and I make 11 roaches on my own. Now I do have the worker lead here. I do go ahead and take the 3rd and 4th gases right here, which I will go ahead and saturate in just a minute. A little bit of a supply block. Now he's morphing in spores at his 3rd. I'm assuming just his defense. Now he starts double upgrades. His +1 attack is way later than mine. However, he does have 1/1 on the way, as well as roach speed already, which I kind of forgot about. Which I have a pretty bad habit of doing. Now, I do have a bunch of army moving out across the map, although he does have a gigantic worker lead, army lead right here. And so we're both making roaches. He goes for a burrow, as well as some more lings. I'm just making roaches, as well as some lings. And my 3rd is actually already droned up. I should go ahead and transfer these guys over here in a minute, I think. And here we go, 9 more drones for me. I want to get that economic advantage. My 4th has started. And now I'm just posturing up outside of his base, you know, seeing what's up. He has no idea I'm here. I have vision of his army. He should see me right here. I think he did. And so at this point, he's making a lot of roaches. I make a bunch more. I want to keep my army about even army supply with his. He does have this overlord spotting everything moving out across. Now remember, his roach speed has finished. Mine has not. And my +1 just finished. So I do have a little bit of upgrade there. But he has roach speed and way more roaches. And he's just going to chase me all the way back home. My creep spread, of course, at this point is not great. Which does indeed mean it's going to take forever to get home. Now, my roach speed does go ahead and finish up right about now. Come on. Alright, right about now. And I do have 1 armor on the way. His 1/1 is about to finish. I do go ahead and drop 4 spine crawlers right here, which may sound interesting. But just watch and see. So he does have about 30 more army supply than I do. But he does go ahead and run back home. He has 1 on 1/1. I do go ahead and pursue. A little bit of missed micro with those roaches there. And I'm going to chase him away, snipe down a bunch. Now there's only about a 10-6 army supply difference, which is only 3 roaches. Not a huge deal. Down to 4. I do go ahead and try and get a bit of a surround. He ends up getting a better surround. Armies clash once again. 11 roaches in production for myself. Make that 12. 8 on the way for him. And now the army supply, excuse me, is still about even. A few splits here. I'm going to go ahead and push in. And I actually lose a bit more army supply than he does. He has 17 roaches on the way. I have about 12, 13 in production. I do have an 8 worker lead right here. I'm more for an overseer for these burrowed roaches. He's starting up spore crawlers, maybe assuming a muta switch. I go ahead and squeeze out a few more drones because I want to get this 4th droned up. A little bit of an engagement right here, which I should move in on right here. Yes, I do. And again, I'm still that little bit behind in army supply. Hydra production has begun. A lurker den going down for Snuffle in the bottom left. Interesting place. He's now also choosing to drone up his 3rd, which has not had any drones on it this entire game, whereas I have been on full 3-base saturation. Another engagement here in the middle. We are both on 1-1. However, his army supply will defeat me, although I do actually have more army supply than him. He's now droning up. I'm still making roaches with a few hydras in there just for that DPS. I start to attack and the hydra upgrade. He, of course, decided to switch the skip the hydra upgrade, excuse me, and go ahead and go straight for the lurkers. He has 2-2 on the way now. I believe I dropped a 2nd evo. No. Alright, there we go. Look at that timing. I do go ahead and drop a 2nd evo, and again, I'm still just making army because I know he's still right here on my creep. So, another engagement. I have 20 more army supply than he does. He does go ahead and run home. I start up overlord speed for my overseer. And then I'm starting to add in a few more hydras. Here's the thing with hydras, I am also droning up more here. He's making a bunch of lings, maybe signaling an all-in. I accidentally morphed a ravager, interestingly enough. But the thing with hydras, right, is they are expensive and they're fragile, and you need a roach wall in front of them if you want to ZvZ with roach hydra. You have to have roaches in front of the hydras, because if you only go hydras, roaches will win. So you really only want roaches in the beginning game. Lurkers morphing right here for our red Zerg. Again, a bunch more drones being produced for both sides. I do still have the advantage, and I have a 4th base up in mining. So I'm starting to throw in a few extra hydras. I drop an infestation pit, and he just made 11 workers, sending out a few lings, which I do scout with the Overlord, and I try to go ahead and snipe. Unfortunately, I only see the 2 here, which I don't actually get the kill on. And so my army is heading down across the map. He just made 11 drones. He should be a little bit larva starved. He does still have 10 larvae. And he does actually have the worker lead now, and we'll soon have the upgrade lead. I do go ahead and just pull some of this army over to kill all these, and made some overlords and send my army back out across the map. Now he tries to take a 4th and a 5th at the same time. Now, this being because he knows he has been behind. If we look at his main, it's halfway mined out. Same with his natural. His only full base is his 3rd, whereas I've been on 4 base this entire time. He does throw down an infestation pit, and now he just made 16 roaches, which will give him the army supply advantage, actually. I go ahead and push down, snipe one of his bases, and now I had the better positioning. His lurkers are out of position. I snipe 2, I snipe 3, I go ahead and tag that 4th one. The Overseer was in the way, so I couldn't see the 5th one, but it doesn't really matter. Look at the army supply, 100 to 83. 10 roaches in production for him, 12 hydras and 3 roaches in production for myself, as well as getting burrow and +1 armor. So his roaches, or his roaches and hydras, excuse me, actually have an upgrade advantage right now. But I have the hydras, which are some pretty insane DPS behind all this. He does manage to push me back right here with his queens and his extra reinforcing roaches. But again, if we have a look at the income tab, I have about 500 to 600 extra minerals coming in, as well as an extra 200 gas, 100 to 200 gas, because he has no workers on this base. His only full base is still this one. His main down to 4, his natural down to 8, whereas I'm still mining extremely heavily, and this 4th base is really getting me a lot of income. I have 2 extra workers here, 4 extra here, which I do go ahead and transfer here in a bit, and I actually go ahead and start up my lair so I can get 3-3. He, of course, does not have his, not lair, excuse me, his, my hive. He, of course, does not have his hive yet. He should burrow those lurkers. Again, I have the overseers. Isn't really going to do that much. He has the high ground advantage, but the army supply is 90 to 52. I have almost double. I'm going to go ahead and push up this ramp. The Hydra DPS completely melts these lurkers. I can't really get to the back one too well, so I go ahead and pull back, get my roaches out front, march in, snipe the lurker, and then go ahead and kill the remainder of these roaches. He tries to run home. 12 roaches in production for him. He tries the 4 spine crawl. Where did he make these 4 spine crawlers? Oh, over at his 4th. He thought I would hit there. I actually go ahead and push into his 3rd. He makes some lings. He makes some roaches. He's trying to hold. But unfortunately, the DPS of my army proves to be a little bit too much for him. Now, he does actually try and pull his workers here. He does have quite a few roaches, but again, at this point, with this many hydras and a few roaches in there to tank, he does go ahead and lose a bunch of his workers, a bunch of his army. He tries to burrow. I still have overseers right here. And at this point, it is pretty much GG. GG is called, and I go ahead and win that game. What could he have done better? He skipped the Lingbane phase, and I know that Lingbane phase can be very difficult to deal with sometimes, but it really is crucial. It really is crucial that you play the Lingbane phase, because you could do like he did and skip the Lingbane and just go straight to roaches by walling off your ramp, depending on the map. The problem with that is your economy is behind, because that gives me all of the map control, because I have lings. You have slow roaches. I have as many lings as I want to make. I can cancel your base. Now imagine if this was a map where you didn't have a pocket expansion and you tried to do that. I would be able to snipe your natural as well, which I believe is why he did it on this map, because he knew he had his pockets expand. But again, I had the map control, I had the vision, I knew what was going on, and I did go ahead and win in the end. His upgrades were nice. He did have, excuse me, that 2-2. It really didn't help him out all too much either way. But guys, if you did enjoy this video, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe down below, and as always, if you did enjoy, I'll definitely catch you in the next one. Goodbye.